Hello, and welcome back to Fantasy Prop Forge. I'm Scott, and today we'll be making two weapons for the price of one video. I'm thinking a dagger and a short sword, kind of a Roman-inspired theme. So I've got my templates drawn up, and I'm going to cut them out of paper and then put them on foam and get to cutting. Let's do it. So we've got our templates cut out of paper. Some people will transfer this to poster board so they have a stiffer stencil to work with when they're transferring it to foam, but I like to preserve paper and stay environmentally conscious. Okay, so I've got the dagger stenciled out on 5mm foam, and what we're actually going to do for the dagger, and the same thing with the sword, is I'm just going to take two pieces of foam and sandwich them together with a rod in between to make sure it stays rigid. Nobody likes a saggy dagger. I'm going to carve a trench down the middle. We'll glue the rod in place, glue the pieces together, and then cut them out as one single chunk. I'm going to do that with 5mm foam for the dagger, and then we'll be doing this exact same thing with 10mm foam for the sword with a bigger rod. Okay, so it turns out I did something dumb. I made the mistake of carving a template on the inside, so once I glue these together, I won't be able to see it. So I'll redraw my template on the outside and just make sure that that is running down the center of it. Alright, so we've got the blades shaped up, looking a little bit more blade-like, but it's a little dull. So what I did is I took the template that we had earlier, and I cut out this central section, and I've traced it onto each of the blades. That way I know where I need to end the taper of the actual edge of the blade. So I'm going to go in with a Dremel, and I'm going to sharpen up these edges to make them look a little bit more like blades. And then we'll go on to cutting the detailed pieces to add to them. All right. Okay, so I've got my blades all shaped and cleaned up and looking sharp. Now I want to start working on the hilt. What I want here is this is going to kind of be an oval shaped hilt. To do that, I roughed out the shape of it with some tin foil, and I wrapped it in duct tape, and then I'm going to cover it with cling wrap and do another layer of duct tape, and I'll draw my a line where I need to cut it, and then I'll be able to cut that off this and get a pattern that I can then flatten out and then cut out of foam, and hopefully I can make a nice clean little dome to go on the bottom of there, kind of like that. Okay, so you see I got a very rough little half of a half dome. It's actually a little bit bigger than what I have on my template, but that's good because when I clean this up and then lay it out in foam, the thickness of the foam is actually going to shrink this up a little bit. We need to find a way to get this flattened out so we can make a nice clean template out of it. So you want to find a place where if you can cut into it, that will allow it to open up and lay as flat as possible. I'm gonna do it like this actually. I'm gonna do one there, cut it in half like so. Alright, so now what I need to do is I need to make 4 of these. Transfer this onto paper, cut 4 pieces of foam like this, and then glue them together like that, and then attach each 4th to create a nice ovular dome. Experiment to make the base of the hilt turned out pretty good. It's a little rough around the edges, but it's nothing we can't fix in post, as they say. Once I have the smaller one for the dagger done, we're going to cap those off with a flat piece of foam, and then we will poke holes in them so we can run these rods down in between to give us, I guess, the base form of our sword, and then we'll go on to making the pommel and then wrapping the handle in some foam. Then it's just a little bit of detail work, and then this bad boy will be ready for paint. Yeah! So I've tried twice to make the base of the hilt for my dagger, but I didn't like the shape or size of either one of them. Luckily, I have been saving this little guy in my junk drawer for a long time. It came out of a gumball machine, and I think I like this shape a little more, and it saves me the trouble of cutting more foam. So I've also cut a little circle that'll fit in there, and then this will slide right in there. Put a hole in the bottom, and bada bing. That's that. And then I've got a handy foam dowel that I can slide in there like that, and boom. There we go. Okay, so the sword and dagger are complete. Looking nice and gold and pointy and shiny. Look like you can get stabby with somebody. Don't do that. I obviously took a lot of inspiration from the Roman Empire with a little bit of my own twist. These are actually my own runes that I made up and etched on the blade. It's actually from one of my nerdier endeavors, which was a world building project back when I thought I could be the next J.R.R. Tolkien. But it turns out writing's kind of hard. So as they say, those who can't write, make props. And that's what I'll keep on doing. All right, see you guys next time.